Oh my God, he's huge. Whoa.
Yes, indeed.
It's your first time for
it? It is.
That's a 2D red to me too. What? Good job.
We'll get to the fishing in a second, but I got somebody dropping by real quick.
Doing some editing, and I got a call from Mr. Jim. He refurbed a V-hull like they use up north, a riveted aluminum boat, into a replica of like an Ancona skiff. Ancona Shadowcaster, I think he kind of modeled it after. Let's go take a look at it. He's about to pull up. I'm dying to see this thing. Then I got to get back to editing. Not if I film?
No, not at all. Bernie's outboard in Victoria. They're right in the middle of Victoria. You in the back of their thing, they've got a ramp where they can back down there. They got a pit. Yeah. This is a 1958 Blue Star 14-foot aluminum runabout built in Miami, Oklahoma.
Interesting fact, the word Miami or Miami is an old Indian word meaning people who live downstream.
The remaining seats, I put a 2.5-inch high beam, ran it through, cut notches through here, ran it all the way through so I could make a 5-foot wide deck, plywood deck, fill the seats with new foam flotation. I don't have the stickers on here because it's an antique. If you have an antique in Texas, you do not have to put the ugly stickers on it. Taught a few game wardens that. It's a great two-person boat. I sold 40 pounds of aluminum I cut off of this. My uncle that used to live in the White House, Uncle Don, he sent me a stimulus check. I got so stimulated, I bought an outboard motor. It'll go about 23, 24 miles an hour. I wanted a technical poling skiff, but I can't afford one. Ancona Shadowcast. I copied the Shadowcast 16, making the layout. Yeah, I think Teresa said that before. You change boats more than I change underwear, you know. If I hadn't bought the outboard, I only had about $1,000 in the whole thing. So.
Yeah, it's got a real sharp entry.
Yeah, and it just booms. It goes fast. I built a taller transom for it so I could get the thing up to where it didn't cavitate. And I built a shifter. I bought this engine that says you can't put remote controls on it. Everything was there. So all I had to do is get a cable. I built a shifter.
I'll be darned.
I built a shifter. I had to order the cable from China because nobody makes one. Always hooks to my life jacket because I watched your video.
Fantastic job. I love to see skiffs be restored. Done on a budget. $1,000 in it. What'd you get for the motor?
About $2,000.
A few $1,000s. I've had kayaks that cost $2,000 more than this.
This is my non-skid Port Aransas beach sand.
Is it really?
Paint it on, put sand on it, roll it flat, sweep it off, put another coat of paint on it. Done deal.
Wow.
Ah, Skidder Walk, Mullet Colors Saltwater Edition. Super heavy saltwater hooks, mullet colored, ready to go out of the box. Fish on!
Got him that time.
At this point, we've been wearing out the top water to no avail, so I switched up to some AM lures on the drift back in, and boom.
You got a hook up?
This might be a keeper. We had paddled 2.5 miles back, and we were doing a drift, sitting side saddle, throwing quickly because we're drifting toward the bait. Today I am not using my stakeout pole. I've gone to something different and I'm loving it. We're just doing a constant drift with the wind, perpendicular to the wind, sitting side saddle. When we get a hit, we anchor, we jump out and we fight the fish, and then we continue the drift again. This is a good red. I'm sold. This is my first day doing it. So my big secret is I've gone back to a 3 or 5 pound weight with about 6 foot of line. That way I can just kick it in, fight the fish. I don't have to worry about stabbing anything into the water. Those weights, even as light as 2 pounds, will slip right through all that grass. It's 2 feet of grass and it ain't going anywhere, even in a 20-mile-an-hour wind. And it's so much simpler than trying to drive a stake in while you're fighting a fish. Just keep a high rod tip and move it fast, Matt. That's all I'm doing. I'm keeping it just below the surface, cooking it, because we're moving so fast. 1/8 ounce.
That's what I got.
In goes the weight, and it looks like Brian's got a good one on. Once again, just drifting side saddle with this 20-mile-an-hour wind until we hang a fish, anchor out, jump out, fight him, repeat. Now we did position ourselves to where we knew we would end up at the truck after the drift was over. Very important to start out upwind of your truck. So Brian has gotten into this new company, Crescent. He's got one kayak that he brings down, this one right here, and it's tandem. The day before, his wife and him went sightseeing tandem style. It's wide open. You pull one seat out and then you have a solo kayak. And it's a big open platform with like sea deck in it. It's really a cool setup. You only have to bring one kayak to perform 2 duties all the way from Dallas.
It was windy. Hey, Ty, this is my son, younger son, Micah.
Nice to meet you. Hey, Micah.
He's the one that got me onto watching you a long time ago.
Yeah. right? What you got? What was it? Did you see it? The wind is blowing 20 to 25, believe it or not, right now. But I picked a protected spot, and I'm putting our feet on the ground, and we can do it easy. It's hard to believe that the wind's blowing 20 to 30, but what I've done is I've moved us 5 miles inland. I've put us on the lee side of a protected bank. I've put our feet on the ground and I've put our back to the wind, and we can fish this all day long. It makes it doable. Whatever this is, it's a good fish. Wait, I think that's a flounder. It is a flounder, and what fantastic eating. Your net, yeah, just slide him up on the beach.
How's it going, man? Holy smokes.
Micah produced this fish on a super tough day. Congrats. You know, sometimes it's all about the fish, and sometimes it's about the camaraderie. And sometimes it's just about sharing a moment with your son. Micah caught that flounder on soft plastics. We worked that bank line as thoroughly as we could, bumping bottom on every pothole, bringing it across every grass bed. We actually lost a few more flounder right at our feet. Although it was a windy spring day, we made the very best out of it. If you're ever down here in the spring and the wind is blowing 20 to 30, just look at a map, pick a lee side bank, protected bank, and try to get your feet on the ground as much as possible, and you'll be able to save the day. Oh yeah, special thanks to Nathan and Micah. Right here where this camera fell, I ended up leaving my camera on this stump, and they brought it back to the house. You guys are awesome. We'll see y'all next time.